Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. It's Paulie, Esther here, and today's Thursday, so we had a dev stream for Dead by Daylight, and I'm going to give you the roundup and tell you what you need to know. So here we go. So the first big announcement that came out of today's dev stream is that there is an upcoming community event. We don't know exactly when it's going to be. I suspect it's going to be timed for the weekend after Valentine's Day, which also coincides with Chinese New Year. I believe is February the 16th, which would be a Friday, next Friday. That's probably the earliest we're going to see the community event happen. So they gave us some information about the community event. There's going to be a special offering that we can play, which will unlock an in-game objective. And there are going to be personal and community challenges. So in the past, when we had these challenges, we were collectively working towards a goal as a community, say for all of us combined to earn a certain amount of blood points. This is going to have a personal objective to it as well. So you will need to participate if you want to get the personal reward. You can win character customization. So it sounds like there are going to be cosmetics on the line here, and I would encourage you to participate if you want to potentially unlock those cosmetics, because it sounds like maybe there's going to be some that we can earn if everybody puts their shoulder against the stone and pushes it up the hill. And maybe there's going to be some that you can win personally, depending on how much you contribute to the objective. We'll know more as the event unfolds, but I would definitely encourage you to participate in the event. There's going to be in-game and menu-themed changes coming up for this, and gather new items. So typically when we get new items, they are firework related, right? We had the Chinese firecrackers last year for Chinese New Year, and this year we had the party starter, which was the Christmas cracker that exploded. Typically the new items are firework related. So that also leads me to believe that this connects with the Chinese New Year, and that we're going to have a new firework item, which would be very cool. I believe Stefan said they have like 5 different fireworks in the can that they can unveil. So this might just be a new variation of one of those. That's my gut feeling. Community event upcoming. When I know more, I'll let you know more, but stay tuned for that. And then they revealed the results of the survey. Last weekend we had the SAW survey. Thanks to all of you out there who participated in it, and they gave us the results here for SAW chapter. There were over 22,000 people who took the survey from 149 different countries. Almost 9,000 people added additional comments to their survey, and the average amount of hours that a player had in-game who answered the survey was 436 hours of play. And out of 5 stars, it was overall rated as 3.5 out of 5 stars. 71% of the people who took the survey actually own the DLC for the SAW chapter. And then we had the ratings from, as far as from the look of the Gideon meat plant map, the look of the pig, Detective Tap's look, the power of the pig, and the gameplay of the Gideon meat plant map, which range from 4 stars down to 3.1. I think a lot of people are having a tough time on the Gideon meat plant. I mean, last statistics that we had for that was that it was 78% lethality rate. So we're just trying to find our way through that map still. I do love the map. It's just a difficult one to navigate at times. And then we had the rating for the perks. Make your choice. I totally agree, is the best perk that came out of this bunch. Tenacity was next. Stakeout after that. Detective's Hunch. I really, personally, I like Detective's Hunch a lot. Hangman's Trick and Surveillance were bringing up the rear with a 2.5 stars for Surveillance and Hangman's Trick. And then the other design changes were rated from being able to rebind the Hag's key action, changes to the nurse's blink and lunges, the palette redistribution, and the scratch mark changes range from 3.9 stars to 3.0 stars. So one thing that did come out of the survey notes was that the shrieking noise that Amanda makes when she's coming out of ambush, similar to what you hear when a killer is in Insidious and then moves, that noise, that wasn't supposed to be in the game. That was unintended. and they plan on eliminating that from her character. So I know a lot of people felt like that shrieking noise, in addition to her roar, was just too much of an alert that she's coming. So they intend to take away that shriek, so that will make her even scarier in ambush mode. But watch for that to be eliminated, that notification noise. And then they announced that this weekend, starting tomorrow, Friday, probably Greenwich Mean Time, which I think is about 8 p.m. Eastern, I'll have to check that, that they are going to release the PTB for PC. It's PC only, folks. Sorry to tell you this. Only PC folks can participate in the PTB. PTB stands for Public Test Build. This is going to be a new version of the game, and you're going to be able to download it and try it out over the weekend. I will be playing it. I'll be putting videos up of it so you can see how the PTB and the emblem system is going to work. PTB is being put out so that we can participate and test this new emblem scoring system. This is going to change the way that people earn pips and are ranked in the future. They want to roll it out this weekend and get as many people as possible to participate in it so they can gather data and see if it's working the way that they hope. So this emblem system isn't going to change blood points in any way. You're still going to get scored blood points and be able to use those to level up your characters. But what it is going to do is it's going to change how you pip and rank up in the game. And they're going to break it down into 4 categories. Up until now, particularly for killers, killers get their pips based on the number of sacrifices. And that's going to change. And right now, the way that survivors get their pips is based on the number of blood points. So here's how it's going to work. They're going to break it down into 4 categories, and you're going to earn emblems in each of those categories. And your overall score in those 4 categories, when added together, are going to determine how you're going to pip and rank in the game. So one thing that sounds intriguing about this emblem system is that where it says how good game can mean a lot of different things. So you can get rewarded in different categories, like whether it's from gen jockeying or keeping the killer engaged and running around in chases, being altruistic, saving people, escaping obviously is the main objective here. But you can get points in all of these categories, and it's also going to create a competition between us and the killer because we're fighting for the same emblems, where it's like tipping of the scales. If the survivors do well in one end of the game, then obviously the killer has not done well in that other end of the game. And we'll get into what these different categories mean now. So the first emblem category is tentatively called Do You Even Gen? And it's Lightbringers versus Gatekeepers. Lightbringers are the survivors trying to repair as many generators as possible, while the Gatekeepers are the killers, obviously trying to prevent the exit gates from being powered and preventing all 5 necessary generators from doing so. So this is what I mean about it's going to be a competition, where who's going to win the most in the emblems, who's going to get the highest level emblem. It's going to depend on how many generators are repaired. Second emblem category is called I Will Survive, the Unbroken versus the Devout. The survivors are trying to escape alive, and this means either by the door or by the hatch. As long as you escape, you are going to get some form of an emblem. The quality of the emblem is going to depend on how many times you got downed in the process. If you go by unscathed, I would imagine you're going to get the iridescent emblem in this category. If you get downed a few times, then your quality is going to be lesser. For the killer here, they get rewards on their emblem quality for the number of sacrifices and mories they make. If survivors bleed out, you will not get points in this category for that, which will discourage slugging. The third category is called Under Pressure and features the survivors as the benevolent versus the killers as the malicious. The survivors will all lose points every time a survivor is injured or hooked. Everyone on the team will lose these points, but you'll get them back once they are saved or taken off the hook. And you'll also get bonus points for an altruistic action. So healing is going to add bonus points for you in that category. Malicious. Killers will win points by injuring and downing the survivors. Those points are going to get lost if survivors get healed. And the killers will get points by hooking the survivors. These points can never be lost. So this is to discourage camping. You're going to get the points automatically in this category for hooking the survivor. So there won't be necessarily a need for you to guard them from being unhooked, because you're never going to lose those points for hooking the survivor. And finally, we have the category number 4. You can run and you can hide. The evaders versus the chasers. So the survivors, they can get points for being stealthy. If you're close to the killer and remain unseen, you're going to get points for that. And if you escape a chase without getting hit, you will get points for that. The longer the chase, the higher the points you'll get in this category. And for the chasers, starting a chase and landing a hit will grant points to the killers, and you get additional points based on the chase's length if the chase is successful. So you don't have to necessarily worry about getting pallet looped as long as you eventually do hit that survivor in the end of the chase. You'll get points for that. So I think this sounds pretty good. So at the end of the match, you'll get your ratings in these 4 categories, and you'll be given the quality of emblems that you received in the game, either from bronze, are worth 1 point, up to iridescence, are worth 4. And then you'll get a total score, and that'll determine your pips towards ranking up or down. So as it stands right now, they said that you would need to get 8 points out of the 4 categories to get 1 pip, and 13 points out of the 4 categories would give you 2 pips. You get the double pip then. So we'll see how it works. So this new system sounds very interesting. I hope that as many of you as possible will be able to participate in this. I wish it was on console too, but sadly it isn't. The only drawback to this is that you don't earn any points for it. Basically what will happen is you'll download this new version of the game, you'll play that, and you'll load in your characters as they are, but it won't save the game every time you've played a match. So any points that you earn won't count towards your character. You won't be able to spend blood points to level them up. You won't rank up or down. It will just stay frozen the way your characters are right now. And they just ask that you play how you typically would. I mean, you could try a couple of other game modes if you want to, but they just don't want you going in with, like, say, Brand New Part or a Mori every game, because that will skew the data. They want you to play as typically as possible within reason. And the more you can play, more people who can play, the more data that they have to gather. And afterwards, I expect the event only runs until Sunday, so I expect on Monday they'll probably release another survey to have us rate how we feel about it, what we think about the new system. And if everything goes the way they had hoped as far as the data when they look at it, how people are going to be scored and stuff, then we may see this rolled out as the new normal for the scoring system within a few weeks. This is coming no matter what. They do want to change the way we're scoring. They just want to make sure this is the right fit and see if there's any tweaking that needs to happen before that. But I am very intrigued by all the scoring. I really want to see the new system come out. As it stands right now, the killers are kind of forced to protect their sacrifices just to maintain their pips. And with this new system, that isn't going to be the case anymore. You could potentially just hook people and run around and try and find other people or prevent gens from being done and still pip, which I think will all be up in arms. Hooray, that the killers won't feel pressured to get those kills, and it's going to make for a better game, and the survivors won't feel like, man, he's camping all the time. That if this can smooth all of that out, it could really iron out a lot of problems that people feel like are in the game right now. So I would encourage all of you to participate in this, and we'll see where we go from here. And then they also mentioned that they're featured on Humble Bundle as part of the Best of 2017 package in this pretty amazing bundle, actually. There's how many games in this? 8 games for $10, including a copy of Dead by Daylight. So if you have some friends who are on the fence, you're trying to get them into it, for $10 you're going to be able to get Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location, Goat Simulator, Hacknet, Verdun, Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion, Death Road to Canada, Turmoil, and Dead by Daylight for $10. How can you beat that? I'll have a link in the description if you want to participate in that and buy a copy of this bundle. But it's a super good deal. Best of 2017. Congrats to Dead by Daylight for making it on that board. And yeah, this is on for almost 12 more days. So you have time to participate in this bundle package. It's a great deal. $10 for 8 games. So that's all I have for you today. They're going to release information on all social media platforms as well as on Steam tomorrow on how to download the PTB version of the game and participate in that. I'll also be making a video about it, so stay tuned. We'll see you in the fog. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.